Hello. As we grow, we lose muscle strength. I strongly believe that in order to make a stretch good, you have to engage muscles. So you have to strengthen the muscles first before you can go to the stretch. So today we will do a few poses, some modified, some supported, focusing specifically on strength. So stretching with strength. We'll start with a few standing poses. We'll go to the tree first. So things to remember, as I said, you want to engage muscles. So your goal is to lift, rise, elongate, elevate, defy gravity. Use your muscles, defy gravity. So before even you go into the pose, pull your kneecap up. Visualize how would I lift this thing up. Visualize that you are trying to lift your foot, your leg up in the air, the foot that is on the ground. You're trying to lift it. Start with the foot, the sole of the foot touching the mat, lift it up. Calves, calf muscles, kneecap, thighs, quads, hips, waist, sternum, shoulders. Lift yourself up. So don't sag. This, you see the arch? Without muscles, with muscles. Lift up, firm up, elongate, rise. Again, your goal is to lift your body off the floor. Take it up. If you like, hold your elbows if it helps you pull the spine out further. Increase the distance between the vertebrae, separate the discs. Let's try the other leg. Again, stay focused on lifting up. Firm foundation is very important before you can build this skyscraper. The stronger the foundation, the firmer will be the building. Let's go into the standing hamstring stretch. We won't do the actual hamstring stretch. The actual hamstring stretch is this. What we would try and do is focus on strength. A couple of props that are useful for strength poses would be a chair and a belt. So once your muscles become strong enough, you're able to lift the weight on your muscles. You will be able to do this. But until you're able to do this, you can do a couple of things. If you're using a belt or a rope, how much strength, how much support you're providing with the arm, reduce that. The more you reduce here, the more legs will have to lift themselves. Try and keep both the knees straight. The lighter, see, I'm lifting maybe 10%. Rest of the weight is on the legs. This is 100%. My leg doesn't have to lift anything. This is 100% on the leg. So stay somewhere in between, 50-50, 30-70, 20-80. So gradually increase the amount of weight the leg has to lift. Start with the stretch, go towards the strength. There. And you'll start feeling it. Again, stay focused on keeping knees straight. Supply only as much support as needed. Just because you're using prop doesn't mean you have to use the prop to the fullest. Alright, next let's go into the Ardha Uttanasana, half standing forward bend. Very simple pose. Keep your feet apart. Separate toes, feet hip apart, hip width apart, or maybe a little bit wider. Separate toes from each other. Press the big toe into the floor. Open up the little toes. The wider, the better. Try not to push your hips back. So it might actually help if you stay about 3 to 4 inches from the wall, so your hips cannot go too far back. Open up the toes. You want to arch your back. So lift your hips up. You see what I'm saying? Lift your sit bones up on the wall. Crawl them up. Lift your shoulders. Push your navel down. So arch your back. Keep your back concave. Lift your shoulders. Again, saucer-like shape. Visualize lifting shoulder, lifting hips. If you like, you may keep your arms firm up the spine, sideways. In the front is usually the hardest because you're shifting your center of gravity. Again, if you're using a chair or support, decide how much prop you want to use. So as long as you're comfortable, just like we talked in the tree, try and lift yourself up from the soles all the way up to hips. Lift, shoulders, lift, kneecaps, calf muscle, really, really firm legs, solid like pillar. It's Ardha Uttanasana. Let's go to the Utkatasana, thunder pose. This one would work on the knee joint. Start standing, feet hip wide. In general, the rule of thumb is legs hip wide whenever you're standing. Visualize you're sitting on a chair, imaginary chair. Bend your knees as much as you're comfortable. Try not to lean too much forward, otherwise you'll start feeling too much weight on the toes. Go back as much as you can. Pull your hips in. Don't do the back bend. If you did the concaving of the back in Ardha Uttanasana, knowledge is straight on the spine and elongate. Keep breathing, of course. Visualize lifting your feet off the mat. Let's add a filler. Let's add twist. Right elbow, left knee. Look up to the sky. Don't sink. Lift. Lift. I push my elbow into the knee to lift my other shoulder, my torso up. Other side. Try not pushing the one knee to the other. Keep the knees as much aligned as possible. Twist affect breathing instantly. Try and keep breathing deep. Again, stay focused on the strength. What muscles are you engaging? What muscles you could engage? So that's Utkatasana, thunder pose. Let's go into the Parshvakonasana. This is one of the very powerful and one of my favorite poses. Stand with the triangle. We'll adjust the distance as needed. You're going to try the left side first. Left foot pointing 90 degrees all the way from the hip. So left leg rotates 90 degrees. Right foot rotates from the ankle joint about 15 degrees inward. Bend the knee. See, I'm already increasing the distance. You want to bring your thigh parallel to the ground. So let's start with elbow on the knee. 90-degree angle will bring the thigh parallel to the ground. Now don't sink. If you start feeling at the leg joint, a stretch here, then that means you're sinking. Lift up from the hip. Lift up from the hip. Stretch the upper arm, 45-degree angle. Focus on the waist. Lift the waist up. The more you lift the waist up, without lifting the knee, without lifting the hip, lift the waist. Open up. As you do this, as you focus on this, and the arm, this would have less and less weight. So your goal is to go from lot of weight on the elbows to lifting the weight here. And thigh, hip, this arm becomes light. This leg would have a lot of weight. This is Parshvakonasana. Again, take support of the wall, put a hand on the block or the floor. Parivrtta Parshvakonasana. In this, the focus will shift on the back leg. So first we'll twist. You can keep this hand here, look the opposite side. Now the back leg. You want to firm up the back leg. Lift the kneecap. Pull the kneecap towards you and lift the knee joint, sorry. You keep your hand this way, whatever you like. Again, stay focused on lifting the hip, bending the knee. For those who are comfortable, cross your elbow. Stay focused on the weight on the legs. The firmer the feet, the less support you will need with your hands. This leg is the key. Remember, this knee should not sink. Firm it up. A child should be able to stand on your back leg and your knee should not bend. Just quickly the other side. Right leg from the hip joint 90 degrees. Left foot 15 degrees. Keep the waist facing front. Remember not to bend from the hip joint. Lift hip joint, bend knee joint. And lift the left waist. Stretch left arm diagonally, 45-degree angle. Less weight on the right elbow. Here. And twist. Back leg, firm, not this. Firm up, firm up, firm up. Usually one side is better than the other. My left leg is much stronger. So right leg I have to focus a little bit more on balancing, strengthening. So that's Parshva Konasana and Parivrutta Parshva Konasana. Let's go into Warrior 1 and 2. Focus on the back leg, keeping the knee straight of the back leg. The front knee joint is going to bend. Focus on the left leg, back leg. We'll start on the left side, rotate the left leg from a hip joint to a pointing front. This one, right foot, we want 45-degree angle or more, as much front facing as possible, because you want your hips to face front. If you keep the toe facing sideways and try and bring your hips waist facing front, your knee joint is going to twist. Not a good feeling. Try and bring the toes as much front as possible. First, stretch before you bend. Elongate. Lengthen. Lift up. Don't push your shoulders too far back. Focus on the sternum. Lift sternum up. Remember, you're trying to elongate the spine. Lift the spine. Lift the sternum away from the tailbone. Once you feel you have a nice stretch, bend the front knee. Okay, now where is the focus? The back leg. Firm up. Pull the kneecap upward. Push the knee up. You want to rise towards the sky. Even with the bend in the knee joint, you don't have to sink. Lift. Don't sink. Rise. Firm up. Be in control of the muscles. Balancing will become much easier when you stay focused on lifting up. Let's do Warrior 2. In this one, you may bring your right foot a little bit open to the front. Focus on the waist, facing front. Push this knee joint back. Again, back leg firm. Expand. Reach farther and farther on left and right. Okay, let's repeat the same on the other side. This time, rotate right leg 90 degrees. Left 45. First stretch up, then bend the right knee. Focus on the back leg, keep it firm. Knee pushed up. Warrior 2, back leg straight. You may bring the toe facing front. Focus on the back leg. Push this knee joint back. Don't let it jut forward. That's Warrior 2. Breathing will get faster. Try and slow down, relax, take a few breaks. Let's go into Parigasana, and then we'll do Prasarita Padottanasana. Parigasana. It's like lock and beam. We're going to do the side stretch, and this is asymmetrical pose. Your right, I'm going to do it on the left side first. Right side of the waist stays on top of right knee. So you don't lean from the thigh. You bend above the waist. Elongate, stretch before you bend. You may keep your hands here. Stretch sideways, then above the waist. Above the waist, keep pushing the right side of the waist outside to the right side, exaggerate. So where is the strength part? This lifting weight with the side muscles. This is not what we want to do. Goal is not to touch the foot. Goal is to stretch the side and strengthen the side. One indication of when you're engaging the muscle is this little bit of shivering. It takes energy to keep muscles engaged, to keep the body parts firm, to lift weight. And if the muscles are not being used in our daily life, those muscles will find it a new stretch, a bit awkward to engage. But over a period of time, your strength will increase. muscles will feel more comfortable. You'll be able to stay longer. Keep pushing the left side of the waist, left shoulder back, not forward, left hip back. Push right hip forward. You're bending to the right side. Again, the goal is to lift the weight of the torso with the left side now. So don't put too much weight on this hand. This is just for support, not for lifting weight. Don't lean on it. My left shoulder is a little bit stiffer, so it's a bit harder to bring it closer. That's Parigasana. Let's do Prasarita Pada Uttanasana. Similar to Ardha Uttanasana, might be a little bit easier. Keep your legs wide apart. I'll also show a supported one after the regular one. Again, your goal is to keep the hips and heels in one plane, in one line. Don't push hips back. Just like Ardha Uttanasana, push shoulders back, concave back, arch your back, lift hips up. Stay leaning forward. You should feel like you're trying to grip the floor, the mat with your toes. If there is not much weight on the toes, that means you're pushing to her back. Keep going forward. So where are you lifting the weight? The legs, the back. Remember, you're trying to lift your feet off the ground. Keep the outer edges jammed, gripped into the floor, into the mat. So lift your ankle. Don't do this. Don't keep let the outer edges come off the mat. Keep it firm. You may keep hands here, but again, how much support are you using? Are you leaning on it, or you're using it 5%, 10%? You may use the chair, as I mentioned earlier. But stay very focused. How much support are you using? This, I'm not feeling any stretch. I probably could stay here for a long, long, long time. Versus this, the chair is there for some support. I'm still lifting a lot of weight with my legs, my back. I know that because my breathing gets faster. As the cells stretch, as the more muscles engage, they need more oxygen. So heart pumps faster, breathing gets faster. That's Prasarita Pada Uttanasana. Anyway. Alright, next let's go to a few sitting and supine poses. We'll start with the dolphin pose. This is sort of a preparation for the down dog and headstand. What makes it a little bit easier than down dog is that the elbow joint is on the floor. And we'll also keep the knees bent. The focus is on the shoulder strength, upper arm strength. Here. So bend your knees, open your armpits, stretch downward. See, I'm opening my armpits, bringing stomach close to the thigh. Let the stomach touch the thigh without dropping the hips. Lift the hips up. So concave back, arch your back, look out. Exhale. Inhale, go forward. Don't sink, lift. Without straining the neck, look high. Exhale, go back, stomach to thigh. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If you feel that there's too much weight on the arms and shoulders, walk back. The farther the feet from the elbows, the less weight you will feel on the front. And on the opposite side, the closer you are to the elbows, the more weight on the shoulders. So that's dolphin. Down dog. This is one of the classic yoga poses. We'll start scanning each and every part, starting with the palms. Let's keep the knees bent first so we can focus on the spine. So this is dead fingers. You see that? Weight is on the wrist. Instead, stretch your wrists. If you stretch your palm like this, the fingers and the wrist actually goes back in the middle of the palm. Pushes into the mat. That's where you want to lift most weight. Push it into the ground and lift your sit bones, your hips away from the Shoulders away from the wrists. Elongate the spine. Concave back, stomach to thigh. Don't strain the neck too much, but keep looking out. Don't look inside. If you look inside, the back becomes rounded, convex. Okay, gradually straighten the knees. Keep lifting hips up. Keep lifting hips up. Visualize you want to take off. You want to defy gravity. When dog stretches, when dog does the downward facing dog, he can literally pull his front legs back so there is almost no weight in the front leg. So try and stand as much as you can solidly on your feet. Lighten up the hands. Slowly come up. Again, please take a break in between so your breathing comes back to normal. Let's do another strengthening pose. This is what we call Desi push-up. The Western push-ups are something like this. The only part that's moving is the elbow to shoulders, upper arms. So upper arms is the only part that exercises. On the other hand, the Indian style push-ups is down dog, 4-point, up dog, down dog. So we talked about down dog, a lot of weight on the feet, weight on the middle of the palms, stretch the fingers apart. The 4-point, you may keep your knees on the floor, lift hips up. If you feel too much weight on the arms, move your shoulders a little bit further back. But try and keep your elbows pointing up. Don't make your elbows sleep like this. They will be strenuous. Try and keep elbows pointing back, pointing up, take shoulders back. Up dog. Let's talk about up dog. So this is like hammock, sinking on the shoulders. Lift up. Lift your sternum, your torso between the shoulders. These arms are the rails. Now when you see a dog doing an upward facing dog, there is so much weight on the front leg that the back legs become light, and he literally drags the back legs forward. Visualize that. Lift weight on these pillars, the front arms. Squeeze hips. Don't keep knees slack. Firm up. Firm up. Push knee joints up. Think of leg as one piece without knee joint, from hip to heel. One piece of iron rod. Slowly come back. Again, the focus is not on the back bend. So when you're doing the upward dog, don't really worry about increasing the back bend. The back bend in upward facing dog is the lower back. Your goal is strength, arm strength, leg strength. Lift the torso through the arms up, keep the legs firm with the knee joint. Let's do a few back bends. We'll start with bridge with pillars, Setuban Sarvangasana. Sarvangasana, as you may know, the name implies an asana for all the parts of the body. An asana that benefits all the parts of the body because it engages all the parts of the body. That's Sarvangasana. Setuban Sarvangasana is a bridge. So it's a mild back bend. Sarvangasana is a forward bend. We'll start with the wall and then we'll go into the pose without the wall. Here. So you may start with the reverse plank. Focus is on the legs. Now if I walk down without moving my shoulders forward, keep your neck relaxed, then I am going to have to lift, increase the height of the arch. You see, I keep crawling down with my feet. Now this arch is higher, so I don't really have much weight on the forearms, but support it, if not under the waist, close to the ribs. Keep walking down. See, adjust the neck. Don't let the neck feel the strain. It also helps if you look back a little bit. So here, keep legs firm. So this is relaxed, firm up. Now you're pushing the knee joints downward. Remember, legs straight. One piece of rod from hips to heels. Okay, now if we were to do this pose without the wall support, with less wall support, we're going to start working on the stomach and the lower back strength. So here, let's start with one knee bent, firm up the other leg, lift your pelvis area up. So you lift your stomach wall up, lift your pelvic region up. So once you become comfortable, one leg at a time, squeeze hips. It's okay whatever way you want to keep your arms, fingertips pointing out and fingertips pointing in. Goal is squeeze hips, legs straight. Now try and visualize from shoulders just to heels, one piece, a stick, a rod. Let's say Tuman Sarangasana, very, very powerful pose. I try and practice this pose almost every day. Shalvasana. Let's do another back bend. I'll show a variation or a simpler one first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my toes into the wall. Practice and see what it does. From legs. Now this is not much of a back bend. There is bend, but the importance is of strength, lifting. This is back strengthening pose. Keep your arms as you like. If you like to interlock palms, to engage arms and back more, that's fine. Keep legs straight. The more you push into the wall, the more you'll be able to lift. Again, the goal is not to go higher, not this. Stay longer. Keep breathing. If you were to do this without the wall, you'll find it a little bit harder. But feel free to keep the legs on the ground first time. This time, let's lift legs up too. Legs straight, firm. Nice and gentle. Feel the weight here. These parts should be really strong this time. Bend the knees. This is hamstring strengthening pose. A little focused. Shalabhasana. It's not the stretch. It's the lack of strength that brings people out of the pose. The shoulder stiffness may prevent you from opening the elbows, but that's okay. You may keep your head down. Focus on the legs and the lower back. Slowly come out. Even if you are able to lift the knees half an inch, that's fine. The goal is not to lift too high. The goal is to focus on strength. That was locust, Shalabhasana. Let's do Ustrasana. Another back bend, camel pose. Really, really powerful pose. Intense back bend. It could be intense. Lower back, especially, just like the upward facing dog. But we'll do it with support first. I'm going to do it with the wall, and then I'm going to do it with the chair. The way I'm going to do it with the wall is I'm going to let my thighs touch the wall. I'll even let my navel, stomach touch the wall. I'm going to push the wall with my middle body. I'm going to push the shins into the ground. If you like, you may keep toes on the ground too, and push the wall, the mat, the floor, the mat with the toes, like this. So now you can get support with your hands, but reduce the support and let your back lift. Maybe 10%, 20% weight on the arms. The rest is on the legs, the lower body, the back. We'll try with the shins on the floor, pressing the shins. I like this one a little bit better. Yeah. We'll start feeling tiredness in the legs very quickly. Let me demonstrate you the same pose with the chair. I'm going to do it two ways. First, I'm going to support my elbows on the chair. Okay, So this, I'm not engaging the muscles. I'm being controlled by gravity. Gravity is in charge. And here, I'm lifting up. I'm squeezing hips, lower back firm, lifting chest up. So now if you were to put a weight scale under my elbows, you'll see very less weight. The weight is reduced. Even though I have maybe 30% weight on the elbows, most of it is in the back. So you may try this, or you may keep your arms straight, hold the legs of the chair. Again, don't sink. See, I can be very relaxed in this pose, or I can let my ribs poke through my skin. Visualize your ribs are not happy inside. You want to explode. Keep lifting up. So even you use this grip to lift up. Don't push down the legs of the chair and lift them up. Or hold them and lift the middle body up. So that's Ustrasana. Very powerful pose. Stay focused on not bending too much, not bending from the lower back. Lower back is a part where you bend very easily, and things that bend very easily could break, that could get hurt. So that's why I focus on the strength first. Alright, now we're going to do a few forward bends. We'll start with Dandasana, the staff pose, the sitting asanas, the starting point of all the sitting asanas. You may also do it with the wall. This is a magical pose, very simple looking pose. Legs straight, spine straight. You may keep arms on the floor. Keep arms stretched, firm, straight. Spine straight, so don't round. Bring your shoulders, your head on the wall. And that's it. Straighten the knees. Straighten the legs. Let's see how long you're able to stay. Practice it at home. Again, as I said, very simple looking pose. But if the hamstrings are tight, it's going to be hard to bend the hips like this 90 degrees. So what you may need to do is you may need to push a little bit forward. So now the angle is maybe 120, 110 degrees. Once you are comfortable, practice doing the pose with a little bit away, with distance, with some distance between wall and your back. Again, try and keep the spine straight. I like to keep my toes pointing up, keep the legs straight. You may also engage more muscles by stretching your arms up. So that's Dandasana. Let's do Eastern pose, Purvottanasana. And bend knees. The goal in this is to lift up the middle body, the navel. Don't sink. Lift up. Lift up as high as you can. Some people find it easier to keep fingertips pointing towards the feet. Some find it easier to point fingertips away from the feet. Either way, whatever you're comfortable with, stay focused on lifting the middle body up. As you feel comfortable, walk out without sinking. Walk out without sinking. This is Purvottanasana because it's the eastern side of the body that is facing outward, upward. Purva is east. Very strength requiring pose. Don't strain, come out. If you get cramps, be careful. Don't walk out too far. Don't straighten the legs too much. Do it gradually. Alright, let's do Navasana, the boat. We can try it with the wall, and then we'll do the pose with the belt. So here, leg straight, spine straight. That's what we want. Actually, let's start with spine straight. So keep knees bent, hold your knees, lift the sternum, push shoulders back, chest forward, tilt back without bending the spine. Don't round like this. Lift the tailbone off the mat. Sit on the sit bones. Balance. Stay focused on random point in front of you in the line of the nose. Keep breathing. As you feel comfortable, you may straighten one leg at a time. Spine straight. Push shoulders back. Lift sternum up. Don't sink. Sternum up. Now, how much weight you're lifting by holding the legs firmly with your arms. The less you hold, the more your legs and spine have to lift. You may hold your toes if you like, if you're able to. Again, keep lifting up. You may use the belt. Lift sternum up, get taller, elongate, rise. You can use the wall. Still, there's plenty of work left for the lower back, for the back muscles to do. So don't think that with the wall you're not working at all. Try staying 30 seconds in this pose. Not this way, this way. Be graceful, be firm, not stiff, firm. That's now Asana. A variation of that, a little bit harder, would be vertical western, Upai Padam Gustasana. So again, you may use the belt. If you're able to hold the feet, it's okay. The goal is, it's okay even if the knees are bent. Goal is to keep the spine straight. Remember, strengthening the back muscle. If you're able to keep him straight, great. Straight the spine, hug the legs. To increase the intensity, you'll go closer and closer to the wall until your legs are perpendicular, parallel to the wall. All right, let's do a couple more sitting poses. Janu Shirshasana and Trianga Mukha Kapal. But we'll do only half. Half poses are harder than the full. So here, Janu Shirshasana, right knee bent, right foot touching left thigh, left leg straight, elongate, length and first, stretch before you bend. Face front, your waist, shoulders, palms, face front. Now, push your stomach to thigh without pushing shoulders forward. Push shoulders backwards. Stomach to thigh. Stomach to thigh. Make sense? Stomach to thigh, shoulders back. So not this. Stomach to thigh, this. Halfway. If you need to, bend this leg. It's okay. Stomach to thigh. Keep stretching, just like Parshva Konasana, 45-degree angle. Keep stretching. Lengthen the spine, leg firm, leg straight, or knee bent, shoulders pushed back, stomach to thigh. Similar poses, Trianga Mukha Kapal. In this, the right leg bends like semi-warrior, sideways. If you need to, sit on a block or a mat, mirror hips. Same thing. This one is a little bit harder because it stretches the hamstring. Elongate and stretch, lengthen. Keep pushing shoulders back. Keep your arms behind your ears. Stomach to thigh. Stomach to thigh. Firm up. Don't tilt. Don't tilt on the left side. Sit symmetrically. Other side. Semi-warrior. Both hips on the floor. Elongate. Stomach to thigh. Keep the right toe pointing up so the leg is stretched and firm. That's the Trianga Mukha Kapal Paschimottanasana. Finally, let's do half plow, halasana. You may do it with the wall or you may do it with the chair. Lift legs up, and the goal in this is to keep spine straight. So this is sunk, rounded spine, no muscles engaged, right? Gravity is controlled. This is like shoulder strength, shoulder strength. Lift your thighs as far away as possible from the shoulders, from the ground. See, there is chair, but I'm not using chair fully. Maybe 20% weight is on the chair. Lift hips up, straighten the spine. Stay as long as you're comfortable. Don't strain the neck. If you need to, you may put a blanket under the shoulders, not under the head, but only under the shoulders.
shoulders that will allow you to elongate the neck. Visualize your arching the back. Remember, don't sink. You want to take off, you want to lift, you want to rise, you want to elevate. Engage muscles.
And that is the magic of muscles or muscle meditations. Thank you.